Well, our small cap company in focus tonight is Carpentaria Resources. It's a Queensland-based company which is involved in the exploration of base metals and gold. The share price of the company steadily climbed before shooting higher in October when it announced its quarterly activity report. It has since pulled back somewhat. Well, to speak more about the company and its outlook, I'm joined live from our Brisbane studio by Nick Sheard, who's Executive Chairman of Carpentaria. Nick, thanks so much for your time and for joining us on Summer Money. Let's start with the basics of the company. You appear to have a number of exploration projects on the boil in various locations around Australia. You've spread your wings pretty far in what you're looking for, haven't you?
Yeah, we have spread fairly far and wide, but we are focusing now largely in New South Wales around Broken Hill. We've got an iron project there, a tin project and gold. We've got another project in the middle of New South Wales, and we've got a coal project up in the Galilee Basin, which is under a sales agreement as we speak.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a bit more detail. You did recently announce plans to acquire the Euriowie tenement near Broken Hill, which is seen as a prospective for tin and tantalum. First of all, what actually is tantalum? What's it used for?
Well, tantalum's another metal that's used in capacitors, basically. It's very widely used in the silicon industry, for building computers, etc.
Okay, so what can you see being the successes coming out of this tenement near Broken Hill?
Well, we were pretty excited. We've been looking at this tenement for about 2 years, and this last few months we discovered fairly extensive tin near the surface. We were near, and also the tantalum, which we had discovered previously. In fact, we feel it's so significant that we weren't the actual owners of that tenement, and so we put an offer into the owners, and which they've agreed to, and so we'll shortly own the whole tenement in our own right. Because this tin is quite exciting. It's at the surface, it's quite reasonable grade, and there's quite a lot of it. So it's just quite an exciting time for us up there.
Also near Broken Hill, you've got the Hawson's iron project. What are your plans for 2010 there? How soon can you see that being put into production?
Well, Hawson's is, last year we drilled 3 holes and got acquired data from a couple of others. And that really has shown us this is a significant iron project, up to close to 6 billion tonnes of magnetite iron. Next year, very early next year, in fact, we are going to be doing drilling on some of the exploration targets to look for higher grade, better thicknesses. And once we decide which is the better one of the anomalies, we're going to then do some resource drilling to get an inferred resource, which basically puts an asset in the ground. And we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that next March through to July.
Okay, Nick. So we've talked about tin, tantalum, iron, gold as well. There's another project also near Broken Hill. What's your potential there for the Panama Hat project, as you've described it?
That's an interesting one. It's a vein style gold play, and it could actually be gambler's ruin or a real bonanza. And we do have a very good play there where we got very high grade gold at surface in veins over an extensive length of about 1.5 kilometres. But does it extend to depth? And that's what we've got to find out this coming year, and we'll be drilling a number of holes along the strike just to see if it extends at depth. If it does, it will be good. If it doesn't, obviously we'll just have to call it quits.
All right, you've talked about several of your projects and there are more, but I'm interested to find out, what about a progression to mining? Is that seen as a real possibility for your company in 2010?
We wouldn't be mining in 2010, but what we hope, and we're pretty certain of be doing, is establishing a resource at Hawson's iron project and a resource up at Euriowie. Now, which one of those will come into fruition first as a mine is a bit difficult to say, but the Hawson's one, it'll be such a big project that will take a bit longer, whereas the Euriowie will be like a smaller gold mine, which you can get up and running fairly quickly, providing you get government approval, and we've got no reason to believe we won't.
Nick, the company's been listed on the ASX for 2 years. I'd like to talk to you about your share price. What kind of gains have you seen? What are your forward projections?
Well, we're pretty happy from last year. We've come up considerably from a pretty low base, and we did keep working and exploring through the GFC, and we felt that was the only way we were going to win, and we did make these 2 discoveries, and that had a huge effect on our share price. It went up to as high as 27 cents. We're now back about 13, which seems to be a floor that we're sitting on at the moment. But I would suggest that as soon as we establish these resources, we will have 2 substantial assets in the ground that will make us a very strong company, and that will really grow us.
Nick, just finally, what about your debt levels?
We don't have any, so we're in a good position. We've got money in the bank, and we've been doing a lot of exploration, but we're pretty tight with our management. There's only 5 of us in the company. So we keep a low administration base. We're putting all our money into the ground.
Such a competitive field, isn't it? Every company wants to be the one to strike it rich, move from exploring into mining. Just how much of a race is it?
It's a big race, and we, like all the other juniors, are really trying to get there first. But with discoveries on our own 100% ground largely, we've got a good chance of doing that. We have less impediments than a lot of others.
Okay, Nick Sheard, we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks so much for that. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, the Copenhagen climate change talks